Welcome to the channel, a platform for sharing stories that inspire greatness since 2013. Follow us on our social media. He once sold roasted corn by the roadside just to survive. Today, he sits at the head of a global company worth billions. This is the untold story of a CEO who rose from the streets to freedom. The year is 2009 and the place is Mushin, one of the toughest neighborhoods in Lagos, Nigeria. Life here is hard and the odds are stacked against you. If you're born in Mushin, chances are you're gonna stay in Mushin. But this is where David Okoro grew up, and against all odds, he escaped. He escaped not just for himself, but for hundreds of thousands of people just like him. David grew up with 5 siblings, and his mother, who was a trader, struggled to make ends meet after his father passed away when he was only 10. So when David was only 13 years old, he started selling roasted corn by the roadside to help his family survive. Life was tough. The local thugs beat him up several times for setting up his little corn stand in their territory. One time, they even threatened to destroy his stand unless he paid them protection money. It was then that David decided to take matters into his own hands. He saved up money for a few months to buy a second-hand computer and taught himself how to code sitting at cyber cafes late into the night. He developed his first app, but it was a failure. His second and third attempts were also failures, and along the way, he earned the nickname the Corn Boy from his classmates who mocked him for his worn-out clothes and his dirt-stained hands. But none of this stopped David. At 18, he had an epiphany. He realized that there were thousands of women just like his mother who were trying to sell their goods in the markets but couldn't get a fair price because middlemen would always exploit them. So he came up with an idea. He developed a simple mobile platform that allowed these vendors to sell their products directly to customers and receive payments through their phones. The app was called MarketLink, and it was the start of something big. Within 2 years, he had 40,000 users and 1,000 active merchants on board. The investors took notice. They saw what David had built and realized that they were looking at the next big thing in e-commerce. They invested in MarketLink and helped David expand his business to new cities. The company grew rapidly. In 2016, it merged with another e-commerce platform called Africabiz, which connected businesses in Africa to global markets. The merger created a giant African marketplace connecting over 1 million vendors across the continent. Today, David's company is valued at $1.2 billion, making him one of the youngest billionaires in Africa. But despite all the success, David remains grounded. He hasn't forgotten where he started. In fact, he still has the dusty photo of his corn stand in his office as a reminder of how far he has come. So, what's the lesson here? Well, there are many, but let me share my favorite. Freedom isn't about where you start, it's about refusing to stay there. There will be people who say you're wasting your time. There will be others who laugh at your efforts and call you crazy. But if you have a fire in your belly, if you refuse to accept the life that they've dealt you, you can do amazing things. All you need is grit, determination, and the belief that you can create your own destiny. David didn't have a silver spoon. He was born into abject poverty and had every reason to give up, but he didn't. He took the cards that life dealt him and made something great out of them. I hope you're inspired by David's story. Let it remind you that no matter where you are right now, if you work hard and smart, you can achieve anything. You see, David could have easily given in to despair and said, "What's the point? I was born into poverty. I'm gonna die in poverty," but he didn't. He dared to dream and dared to act on his dreams. In his words, "We grew up knowing we were poor, but we never knew we could become multimillionaires one day. We just needed someone to show us the possibility." And that's what I want to do for other young people in Africa. I want them to know that they can create their own jobs and become whatever they want to become. This is a story that the world needs to hear. A story of struggle, perseverance, and triumph. It's a story that gives me goosebumps every time I think about it. And if you liked this video, please hit the like button. It helps us keep going. Also, subscribe so that you never miss any of our uploads. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.